Don't separate renouncing from anything. Let go of the habit of the noble ones, not just the human beings' habit, but the habit of the noble ones as well. It isn't about renounce or not renounce anything, together with everything. That is the essence of great compassion. Don't separate renounce from anything. Let go of the habit of the noble ones. It isn't about renounce or not renounce anything. It is not to only let go of the habit of human beings, but also let go of the habit of noble ones. Both renouncing and not renouncing are what is more than needed. It is what added on to the original truth. Original truth has nothing to do with renounce or not renounce, and together with the samsara, so that it is the great compassion to dissolve and empty out for the samsara simultaneously. Don't separate brightening out from the samsara. It isn't related to even the non-relating itself. Has to be together, extinguish and empty out together simultaneously with everything, brightening out, not for yourself, but to help the samsara, not to brightening out from anything, not to brightening out from things, not to run away from the samsara by brightening out. That is to extinguish together with your body, your mind. It will dissolve your body, your mind. It isn't about to extinguish from your body, your mind, but it's to dissolve your body, your mind together with that extinction and with everything. It's to empty out together at once. It isn't to empty out from anything, but to empty out together simultaneously. You sing, it isn't about empty or not empty. Recall that, and it will empty out. Don't fixate on empty out from this, from that. If you do that, you are empty out from things. It isn't about mind or not mind. It isn't about empty or not empty. That is how you not separate yourself from things. And it is to extinguish for the samsara simultaneously. Use the sentence. Is it a great compassion? Yes, it is. Each sentence is a great compassion sentence. And it won't be about only the human being or noble one. You have to dissolve the idea, the mindset that let go or not letting go. It isn't about let go or not letting go. Use that sentence to dissolve the mindset that is a cause of suffering. Let go of the habit of noble ones and habit of human being. It isn't about renounce or not renounce. Together with everything, that is a great compassion of Mahasunyata that extinguish and empty out the samsara. It isn't about any mindset, any belief. In the past, it's all about the assumed up ideas that you have made yourself and follow them, fixate on them. That's why it becomes troublesome and messy. And it becomes to practice the body and mind, the tradition of practicing the body and mind. And it is the samsara of ideas that is called the knowledge of Buddhism, practice of Buddhism, and the end result of that. That is the samsara of ideas that you all assume up yourself. Original truth has nothing to do with even the non-relating itself. What are you practicing for? What are you contemplating for? It isn't about renounce or not renounce. It isn't about let go or not letting go. What is it for you to contemplate for? Anything you contemplate for, it is the samsara, no matter if it is noble ones or human beings. You will create samsara. This is all the samsara or assume up ideas. It's all the fabrication of the mind about Dhamma. Dhamma that has nothing, has no meaning of Dhamma. Dhamma that is not grasping on Dhamma, but you all made up ideas about it. Create Dhamma to grasp on Dhamma. And that is why it becomes a samsara of Dhamma. And that makes it into a worldly and spiritual. None of that is it. It isn't about anyone taking on any path or choose any path. It isn't about having intention to attain anything about Dhamma. Since the beginning it is wrong. So make a conclusion. It isn't about renounce or not renounce, so that you don't have to separate Nibbana from the samsara. And you won't have to separate Vimutti from anything. It isn't about liberated or not liberated. It isn't about attached or not attached. That is a Mahasunyuta of great compassion to extinguish the samsara continuously without any mindset or any belief. No fixation on any idea of Nibbana. You still have a fixation and obsession about Vimutti and Nibbana. That's why there is a samsara of ideas, samsara of belief that pass on through generations. Starting from yourself, one person having the idea and fixation to reach Nibbana and pass on the same idea. That's why you are trying to attain Nibbana through practicing the body and mind, creating suffering and difficulty for yourself. So you have to listen up. It isn't about renounce or not renounce with everything. It isn't about mind or not mind with everything. Mind is about giving up. It isn't about mind or not mind. It's beyond giving out, giving up. It is a conclusion. It is the ending. Mind is all the essence of cutting, of ending. It isn't about mind or not mind. Don't become fixated on mind either. Go beyond mind. It isn't about mind or not mind. Don't fixate on trying to mind this or mind that. End on the contemplation, end on the practice, and become the essence of great compassion only. It will become great compassion automatically. To liberate and release for one another, empty out, extinguish out for one another automatically. Just recall these sentences. It becomes great compassion already. How about to accumulate parami or perfection? That is also the mindset, the belief that people have to accumulate parami through practicing or behaving in a certain way. That is all assume up to grasp on to something. That is also a cause of suffering in parami or perfection. And that is difficulty and also suffering. So when you say that it is so difficult to accumulate parami enough to become a Buddha, of course it is difficult because it is about grasping or taking something. Why don't you become the essence of great compassion right there and then, directly, without having to accumulate anything? It isn't about relating or not relating to anything. Don't have to accumulate any parami or perfection. Use the sentence to extinguish and empty out for the samsara all the time. Don't be deluded with your own idea become the
ขั้นตอน
essence
ไปเรื่อย
of the Buddha through
มันมี
using
วาระ
the
ด้วยเหรอมันไม่
sentence.
มีวา
You
ระ
don't have to wait to a certain time
ม
or
หากรุณาเนี่ย
certain
ไม่มีวาระ
occasion
มันตลอดเวลา
for you to become a Buddha, but you can be the essence of great compassion, which is also the essence of the Buddha anytime.
สิ่งที่มันไม่เกี่ยวกับไม่ไม่ไม่
It
สิ่งที่
isn't
มันไม่
about
เกี่ยว
my
กับยึดไม่ยึดเนี่ย
or not my,
สิ่
it
งที่มันไม่
isn't
เกี่ยว
about
กับพ้นไม่
attached
พ้น
or not
สิ่ง
attached,
ที่
it
มันไม่
isn't
เกี่ยวกับ
about
หมดไม่หมด
liberated
อะไร
or
เนี่ย
not
มันคือเนื้อ
liberated.
หายมหากรุ
It
ณาตลอด
isn't
เวลา
about total cessation or not total cessation. That is the essence of great compassion, which can be any time. And it doesn't have to be in a certain specific Buddha's time.
สิ่งที่ไม่เกี่ยวกับไม่ไม่
It
ไม่
isn't about mine or not mine.
สิ่งที่ไม่เกี่ยวกับ
It
ละไม่
isn't
ละ
about
มัน
renounce
จะล้าง
or not
เอง
renounce.
ล้าง
And
ความ
it
เหลื่อ
will
มล้ำ
dissolve
เองชัดไม่
any
ชัดชัดไม่ชัดอะไร
difference
ก็ตาม
that
ที
you
มันจะ
have.
ล้างตัวนี้เอง
Seeing clearly or not seeing clearly, it will dissolve it. If you want to focus on one thing,
แล้วก็นึกสติประโยคเหล่านี้ขึ้นมาเลย
use
สิ่งที่
this
มันไม่เกี่ยว
sentence
กับชัดไม่ชัด
to
สิ่งที่ไม่
dissolve
เกี่ยวกับ
any
ละไม่ละ
fixation. It isn't about seeing clearly or not seeing clearly.
ไปหลงชัด
That is the delusion of trying to focus or concentrate on something and dwell on it, fixate on it. Use
แค่นึกสติ
this
ต้องนึกสติ
sentence,
ด้วยนะ
recall the
พอนึกส
reminder.
ติตัวเนี้ยมันจะเริ่มปรับสมดุลให้เอง
It will adjust you and make you to become imbalanced again, not to fixate on either side.
สิ่งที่ไม่เกี่ยวกับไม่ไม่ไม่ไปด้วยกันเลยไม่
It
ใช่ไป
isn't
ละมัน
about
ด้วย
mine or not
ไม่
mine,
ใช่ไปถอนมันด้วย
not
ไม่ใช่
to
พยายาม
try
ออก
to
จากมันด้วย
revoke
ใช้
or
มหา
renounce
กรุณานึกสติ
anything. Use
อย่างเดียวเลย
the great compassion
แล้วเขา
reminder
จะปรับ
only,
ให้เองทั้งหมด
and it will adjust everything, make everything become
สิ่งที่ไม่เกี่ยว
imbalanced
กับละไม่
again.
ละ
It isn't about
สิ่งที่ไม่
renounce
เกี่ยวกั
or
บไม่
not
ไม่ไม่
renounce.
ไปด้วย
It
กัน
isn't
แค่
about
มหา
mine
กรุณานึกส
or
ติ
not mine together
เห็นนึกส
with
ติ
everything.
มหากรุ
These
ณา
are
นึ
the
กส
great
ติ
compassion
คุณ
reminders.
นึกสติขึ้นมาเขา
Recall
จะปรับ
them,
ของเขาเองไอ้ที่มันแช่อยู่อย่างเดียว
and everything
ทรง
will
อยู่อย่าง
become
เดียวเดี๋ยวมันก็
imbalanced.
จะคลายอ
If
อก
you
เอา
are
เอง
still fixate or concentrate, focus on anything on one side in particular, it will adjust it and make you become imbalanced again. Use it constantly, recall the sentence, and don't forget the word everything. You have to use the word everything. Everything isn't about renounce or not renounce anything. Everything, everything,
เฉพาะ
and it won't
จะ
be
เลิกเฉพาะ
any focus or limitation on anything, but open up everything.
สิ่งที่ไม่เกี่ยวกับไม่
It
ไม่ไม่
isn't about mine or not mine,
ดำริ
everything.
เข้าไปดำริเรื่อยๆ
Use this, recall them constantly. These are the great compassion.
ไม่ต้องรอเวลา
It's not much.
ดำริตอนไหนก็ล้างกันตอนนั้น
You can recall
ดำริตอน
this
ไหนก็มาหากรุณากันตอนนั้น
anytime. And it is the great compassion every time you recall it. You don't have to wait for any specific time or certain
ไม่
time.
ต้องรอเวลาไม่เกี่
And
ยว
you
กับ
don't need to expect for anything.
ที่มันไม่เกี่ยวกับหมด
Don't expect that you will
ไม่
come
ต้องรอเวลาอะไรไม่ต้อง
total cessation or reach
แล้วไป
anything.
แล้วไป
Bless and let go.
มาหาคุณ
Bless
แล้วไป
and let go. Have great compassion and let go of it constantly all the time.
มีสติขึ้นเรื่อย
Use these
ๆ
reminders
มันไม่มีความบัง
constantly.
คับ
There is no condition, no obligation.
มันไม่มีเงื่อนไขมันไม่มี
There is no condition or no obligation about this at all. Just keep on reminding yourself with the great compassion reminders, and it will keep on
ประโยชน์ตน
dissolving,
ประโยชน์ท่านล้างท้องมันเป็น
benefit both yourself and the samsara simultaneously. Dissolve all.
อยู่ตรงนี้บทสรุปของสัจธรรม
This is the conclusion of all original truth of every Buddha's time is here. Is what I'm doing now. Is what I'm giving you. Is the conclusion of
บทส
original
รุปของ
truth
ทุกพุทธันดร
from every Buddha's time.
และบทสรุปของพุทธภูมิ
This is
บทส
also
รุป
the
ของมหาก
conclusion
รุณา
of great compassion and a conclusion of Buddhahood.
มันไม่มีเส้นแบ่ง
There is no division, no dividing line.
ที่มันมีเส้นแบ่งก็ว่ามันอุปโลกที่ถิขึ้น
If
มา
there
ก็เล
is
ยกลายเป็นเส้นแบ่ง
any line of division because of the idea that you assume up yourself,
ที่มันต่อเนื่องเพราะว่ามันเหมือนกับเราจะสมุทัยต่อเนื่องนะจิตตวิลมัฏฐายโยกมันทำให้
you
จิต
have
ลำ
been
บากต่อเนื่อง
practicing.
มันก็ตันมาเรื่อย
Hold on to the cause of suffering and keep on practicing. That's why it becomes
ๆ
continuous.
อย่าใช้การพยายาม
Use the reminders only. Don't try to come out of anything or don't try to renounce anything. Only use great compassion reminders. Don't try to renounce anything. Everything isn't about mine or not mine. Use only the great compassion reminders. Don't use any effort in trying to come out or get in anything. It's the same desire, the same cause of suffering. Use these reminders instead. And don't have to wait for any time, any era. Use these reminders. It isn't about mine or not mine with everything. It isn't about renounce or not renounce with everything. It isn't about total cessation or not total cessation. And any effort in trying to renounce or not renounce, any attempt to attain anything will be gone, will be dissolved. Once you recall the sentence, it isn't about having total cessation or not. It isn't about mine or not mine. And your effort to cut or not cut will be dissolved and it becomes the essence of great compassion. Don't have to wait for anything. This is a conclusion from every Buddha's time. This is the conclusion of samsara, of nibbana. It isn't about nibbana or non-nibbana, everything. It isn't about itself, everything. And this will dissolve any attempt to renounce or not renounce. It isn't about renounce or not renounce with everything. It is to dissolve the difficulty in trying to renounce or not renounce anything that is the cause of suffering that make you having difficulty. It will end the practice for you, end the task for you, end the delusion of practicing body and mind for you. It isn't about renounce or not renounce. This is to end the delusion of any contemplation of practice or any attainment. It will end for you. If you are still obsessed with anything, use that idea. Use the sentence to dissolve your obsession. If you still fixate on the idea of trying to renounce, use the sentence. It isn't about renounce or not renounce. It isn't about liberated or not liberated. Dissolve your fixation, your obsession. Otherwise, that fixation and obsession will become a cause of suffering that make you practice on, and it is the difficulty that you have to overcome later on. And it is also overpass the truth. You have to use the word everything so that it is the essence of great compassion. And it is also indicate that you're not grasping for oneself. You're not grasping you're not grasping liberation or total cessation for yourself. It isn't renounce for renouncing. It isn't give up for giving up. It isn't liberate for liberation. Use everything and it will open up. It is to signify that you're not about grasping. Nibbana is not about grasping Nibbana. Renounce is not about grasping renouncing. Give up is not about holding on to the giving up. It isn't about give up or not give up. It isn't about mine or not mine. Recall these sentences constantly. Have great compassion constantly. This is the essence of the Buddha. You keep on blessing. That is you becoming the essence of the Buddha. It isn't like you try to become a Buddha without knowing the essence of the Buddha. Only have the desire that lead you go on to this path, that path, having difficulty on and on. You are given the essence of enlightenment. You should use this essence to come to the conclusion for the samsara on and on. Directly conclude for the samsara. The blessing is the great compassion.
แต่ละประโยค
These reminders
มันเรียกว่าการโปรด
is what it is to bless. Recall the reminders. This is how you bless the samsara.
มหากรุณานุสติขึ้นมา
Every time you recall the sentence, you also release and liberate for the samsara. You already a part of the Buddhas. You are already a part of Mahabarami. That is how you bless the samsara. So keep recalling the sentence, the reminders to liberate and empty out constantly. Don't be deluded in trying to separate anything. Your mindset is still fixated on you, still embedded in you. Fixate to let go, to renounce. That is rooted in you, trying to renounce from things, trying to get away from things, trying to let go of things. You cannot use these mindsets to bless sentient beings. To bless samsara, you have to be one with the samsara and extinguish and empty out for the samsara. But if you renounce from the samsara, from things, you create separate Buddha's time. Separate Buddha's time come from the mindsets about vimutti, nibbana, and dhamma. All these obsessions, fixations, divide up Buddha's time. How can we make the great compassion and Buddhahood become continuous? We have to dissolve the fixation, obsession, and the mindset about you desire to end the suffering, to attain nibbana. Have to dissolve such idea. These ideas, these mindsets, to attain nibbana for yourself, to renounce, keep on renouncing. You cannot go anywhere from the samsara, no matter how much renunciation you do.
มันทนไม่ได้ต่อการที่จะต้องอรหันต์ไงมันทนไม่ไหว
You want
ต้องอรหันต์
to
แค่อย่าง
become
เดียวมันไม่
arahant,
ไหว
cannot stand not becoming arahant because of the mindset that you set out for that attainment. If you dissolve that, all the Buddhahood will be continuous without any division. The essence of great compassion will not be break up into separate Buddha's time. It isn't about reaching Nibbana or not reaching Nibbana. Dissolve such mindset, and it will become the great compassion essence, liberate and release for one another continuously without breaking up. My desire to wait for the era of Buddha, of the next Buddha, Mettaya, is the one that obstructing me from great compassion. You have to make a renunciation of that, to let go of that, not to wait for the era of Mettaya Buddha anymore, but become the essence of the Buddha himself. If you're still waiting, that desire is the cause of suffering that will drag you on and on. And you are overpassing the essence. This is the cause of suffering that a lot of people have, this desire. Even the desire of Buddhahood, desire for Buddhahood, is also a cause of suffering. How come you have desire to become a Buddha, but you don't want to be the essence of the Buddha here and now? By having great compassion and bless the sentient beings, you have the desire for a specific time to become a Buddha and wait for it. Why don't you become the essence here and now and have great compassion timelessly? You haven't encountered, you haven't met
ต้อง
the
เจอในสิ่ง
essence,
ที่เป็นบทสรุปของ
the conclusion
เป็นบทสรุ
of
ป
the
ของสัจ
Buddhahood,
ธรรม
the
บทส
conclusion
รุปของมหา
of
กรุณาโดย
original
ตรง
truth, the conclusion
บ
of
ทสรุป
great
ของมหากรุ
compassion.
ณาของจริง
You have to
บทสรุปของ
experience
สัจ
it
ธรรมของจริง
directly.
บทสรุป
The
สัจธรรมข
actual
องจริงมันต้องเจอ
conclusion of the samsara, the actual conclusion
เจอแล้วก็
of
ตามนั้น
great
เลย
compassion. Once
ถ้าไม่เจอมันจะปรารถ
you
นาหนักหน้า
experience
เอา
it,
ความปรารถนาลาก
you meet it.
ลาก
It
ไป
will
เรื่อย
happen accordingly.
ลากอะไรก็ไม่รู้
If you haven't met it, you haven't experienced it, you will keep on going with your desire. Your desire will drag you on and overpassing
แต่
the
เราไม่
truth.
ต้องไปแบ่งแยกอะไร
You don't have to separate anything. In the samsara, the word everything will handle
ดำริไปเลยนะทุกอย่าง
will handle everything for you. You don't need to know the detail of the samsara.
จะเคลียร์เว้ยที่ว่าเยอะๆๆๆ
Just
เนี่ย
recall the word everything, and everything will be in order. It will clear out for you. You don't need to focus on the details of the samsara, how many there are, how complicated it is. Don't waste your time. Use the great compassion reminders together with everything, and it will clear out for you automatically. Don't need to know a lot about the samsara. It will only give you worries. So on the practice in the past become the remaining that is left on. Yes, it is the samsara that is remaining. But everything is remaining, practice or not practice. There's something remaining in the samsara. Keep on recalling, using the great compassion reminder. It isn't about mine or not mine. It isn't about renounce or not renounce with everything. It isn't about liberated or not liberated with everything. It isn't about total cessation or not total cessation. It isn't about diluted or not diluted with everything. Have these great compassion reminders. Keep recalling them. And you won't have any worry. You won't create any more worry about anything anymore. Keep recalling the great compassion reminders constantly. It isn't about renounce or not renounce. Use this and you won't have worry in trying to renounce anything or trying to be liberated.